Two small kids are dead, a 1-year-old and a 4-year-old, killed by a driver who ran a red light at an intersection in Park Slope. Nate Rogers has the full story. Nate, what do you got for us?
Bill, the driver in this case reportedly told police that she suffers from a variety of health issues, including MS, seizures, and heart problems. But Brooklyn's district attorney's office says it believes the driver, 44-year-old Dorothy Bruns, suffered a seizure when the crash occurred. Question now, should she have ever been behind the wheel in the first place?
I think a lot of people who are in that position are in denial as to what their obvious illnesses and limitations are. And when they're told that they can't drive, then they feel that it takes something away from who they are. So it's almost like they're fighting the reality that they are incapacitated enough that they should not be driving.
1-year-old Joshua Liu and 4-year-old Abigail Brumstein were killed in the crash Monday afternoon in Brooklyn's Park Slope neighborhood. Police say Bruns lost control of her vehicle and hit 5 people. Abigail's mother is Tony Award-winning actress Ruthie Ann Miles, who's also injured. Miles is pregnant and remains in the hospital.
This does not need to happen. These are not accidents, they're crashes. We know the solutions.
Amy Cohen's son, Sammy, was killed by a speeding driver in the same neighborhood 4 years ago. Her mission now, holding officials accountable for safer streets.
We should have speed safety cameras at every school to protect our children. We should redesign our streets so that they're safe for people walking and cycling and driving.
There's still no charges in this case. In an unrelated press conference earlier today, Mayor de Blasio said that he wished the driver was arrested after the crash. Also, it was reported that Bruns' driver's license was suspended on yesterday. The Brooklyn District Attorney, as well as police, will continue to investigate this crash. In Brooklyn, I'm Nate Rogers, Chasing News.
Thank you, Nate. All right, let's bring in the A-plus panel. Bill Caruso, Democratic strategist, joins us again. Good to see you, Bill. Thanks for being here. And Elora Nanos, lawyer and columnist for Law and Crime. Elora, I want to start with you from a legal perspective. You're talking about somebody who's run 4 red lights. She's been ticketed already, has a medical condition. From a legal perspective, why was this woman still driving with a driver's license?
Probably because she had an existing valid license, and her doctor, didn't specifically know that she was doing anything to violate the conditions of driving. So basically, there was just no one to report her, and it wasn't yet time for her to check in with the Department of Motor Vehicles. But this goes to really a larger issue, which is we need to stop treating driver's licenses as if we all really like driving. We all really rely on driving, so therefore we all have a right to drive, because we don't have a right to drive.
There's no constitutional amendment.
There's no constitutional
you have a right to drive,
and
right?
we should really stop acting like we do have that
Bill,
right.
are we too soft on people? I mean, you talk about on both ends of the spectrum, young people who have terrible driving records reflected in the insurance rates, and elderly folks. I mean, there's a huge backlash the minute you mention retesting.
Well, and here's the issue, and we'll go into the politics and away from the laws. You're looking at significant voting blocks when you talk about senior citizens, so politicians generally are fearful. And listen, these are difficult conversations to have as a family when you've got to take grandma or grandpa's keys away from them. But this all comes down to personal responsibility, our own, our families, to police these things, because I'm not sure there's any law.
With a medical condition, though, I mean, shouldn't we be able to rely on an expert? I can't imagine somebody that has issues
but Elora,
going to take themselves out of the pool.
How does the state get alerted to this? How does the state know this woman has a valid driver's license? She goes to the doctor. The doctor has the first responsibility to counsel the patient and say, hey, you should really think twice about getting behind the wheel right now.
And not everyone has the same symptoms.
Should there be regular retesting?
Yeah.
Definitely.
I agree. I tend to agree.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Who's going to pay for it, though? All right, going to leave it there. Thanks.